All right. You're welcome, Daniel. So now the next question we have is, let's see, go to the relevant question. Nikki says, it's been 3 years since my ex and I separated. I daily deal with the pain of leaving him. So obviously you left him and can't move forward. Did you leave him? If you left him, why can't you go forward? You decided. Or he left you. I can't move forward with anyone else. Addictions? Yes. I feel as though I need a lot of healing. I can't. I need a lot of healing. I can't, though. I'm sorry, I don't understand. Addiction, you mean you're addicted to drugs? Is that what you're saying? We have 2 boys, 7-year-old and 5-year-old. We have always put our boys first with our love and nature. At times, I would like to reconcile our marriage with the strength of love. I'm confused where I feel stuck with whether to move on or to keep hope we can be family again. We had a nasty breakup through your lawyers and all that. Okay. So I wonder, you confuse me. I don't know what that word addiction is doing there. Are you telling me that you're addicted to some drugs, or you're telling me addiction? Not at all. I don't get it, but I assume that you're not into any drugs or things like that. So it was just a bad breakup. And you initiated it, or I don't know how it initiated, I don't have enough information, but now you have a second thoughts, like you feel like it wasn't a good thing to do. Well, of course, unless somebody in the family, somebody between, one of the couples, unless one of you guys have been abusive to each other, then people should not simply get divorced when they have children. This is not a joke. People get married all lovey-dovey and so on, but it's all physical. They never bond on consciousness level to begin with. And when they don't do that, then nothing physical can be forever. Everything physical has its duration, whether it's infatuation or it's in something you like physically to do, sports, or some food you like to eat. They all have their own duration. Eventually they ran out of that initial interest or excitement to be able to do that or to have that and whatnot. And if people just bond on physical level, that maybe the woman is so pretty and the guy says, oh God, she's so gorgeous, and he has the hots for her, and he thinks that's love, but that's really just physical attraction. It's lust. But then they don't use that time that they're interested in each other for physical reasons, and maybe the girl likes the guy's look or what the guy has, or how educated or how wealthy or how comfortable, whatever it is that they like each other for, and they don't use that initial time to bond on consciousness level, to understand each other's consciousness, to understand each other's order, and try to modify their own order, which is the way they were living and doing and thinking before they met each other. But now that they meet each other, obviously your way of living, your way of thinking, your way of doing, your order, your norm is interfering with his norm, his order, and his way of doing things, his way of thinking, his order is interfering with your order. That's why there's going to be conflicts for a while, and then eventually you guys, if you're smart enough, you compromise and you bond on consciousness level by becoming understanding and interested in each other's consciousness and understanding how the psyche of each one of you works and make things work. And then if you don't use the initial time of interest to bond on these levels, then you're doomed. Because the physical attraction, like anything else physical, is going to run its course. And then you think, I don't love her anymore, or you don't love him anymore. Why? It's the same person that you couldn't wait till you go and, buy some gift for her or do something for him. So what happened? Because you allowed it remain a physical connection. And you didn't make it work. It's like a seed you plant and you don't water it, you don't give it enough sunshine, you don't talk to it. It's very important for you to talk to the plants because they feel love. They feel the love and they grow greener, bigger, better. They develop. If you don't do any of that, you just plant the seed and hope that, sunshine and rain will do the job. Well, it may do some, it will last some, but the first hardship that he gets doesn't have strong root because he wasn't taken care of. Barriers have not been put there to protect it. And understanding is not there. Protection is not there. And protection in this case is your understanding of each other's psyche. If it's not there, then when there's a little bit of a storm, that plant is pulled out of the root and is gone, uprooted. And that's how many of the relationships follow this path. Because nobody takes the time to really understand, why are you guys together? What are your motivations? What are your goals? What are you there for? Are you there because you love her? Are you there because you love him? Or are you there because of what you love what he can do for you? Or you love what she can do for you? Is the pleasure that she provides? Is the comfort that he provides? What is it that you love that person for? Do you understand what it is? For that, you got to go to my YouTube channel and says, do you love her? Or it says, do we love her? Something of that sort. If you search it on do you love her or something like that, there would be a video that comes up. And it will tell you about what I'm talking about here. And you can add it to our conversation here. So, because nobody really spends the time to bond on conscious level, then obviously you guys, simply feel like, I have the right, especially in this day and age, I have to live. And you think living is by more pleasure. So you run off to somebody else. Whether you're a man or a woman, doesn't matter. You run off to somebody else because it's not happening here anymore. Why it's not happening anymore here? You don't care. You just think, I'm not turned on anymore. I can't stand her, or you can't stand him. All of that. And you think somebody else will be different. Well, it will be the same story again. Physical attraction, novelty, and then that will also run away and run off because again it's physical basis, and everything physical has its own duration. It will perish, it will go away. It's not forever. So on that basis, people simply find themselves in situations that they never thought they will be. And then you go through all these hooplas and court cases, and who's going to suffer are the kids. They didn't sign up for this. They said, listen, you two assholes, if you guys want to bring us into this world, you better, be able to deal with this first. Get divorced first. Don't get divorced when you give us, birth. But again, many people are not trained while they're growing up in schools about this sort of stuff. So they think being part of growing up is to just, find somebody and have sex and then think that this all marriage is just having parties and so on. It's a plan for life. But when you bring the physical pleasures into it, everything physical runs its course, and you're not that feeling that, handy for your partner, and you feel like maybe it's something wrong with her or maybe something wrong with him. But no, You didn't really work to bring it to a different level of attraction. This physical attraction is only an invitation to get to know each other. It gives you that catalysm. It gives you that, it brings that, makes available that catalyst that through which you will have enough time and encouragement and motivation to get to know each other thoroughly, deeply. But yet people think that's what it is. That physical attraction is the extent of that bonding. And when that runs out, another one, another one. So the whole life becomes nothing but fornication. That's it. Now what else? Because there's nothing else to bond. There's a lot more to us than just physical ability to make love. So making love is a way to start things. But making love and the physical attraction is not the one that is going to keep it together. And you gotta find how to keep each other together, be together, by going through bonding through the consciousness. Now, Nikki says you're addicted to alcohol. Well, knowing the fact that you're addicted to alcohol, and that has compromised your ability to live your life happy, and you're now under control of some outside substance, means you're not really your own master. Some shit, such as alcohol or some substance of any kind, has become your master. So you're no longer independent. Knowing this, which obviously you know this, it should encourage you to free yourself, because the natural state of man is to be free. And it's not about to be free from government rules and regulations. It's not to be free from rules and regulations of this social system that you live in. It's not the regulation of not being under the thumbs of anybody else. It's also being free in mind. And many things imprisons your mind. Some things are of the physical entities out there, the systems out there, rules and regulations. These are the things that people all around the world always revolt against it and try to make themselves free. That's another story. The social bounds and all these things. But then there's also substances that makes you prisoners of your addiction. And hopefully there's a video that I have that says to the limits of addiction, something like that, to the limits of addiction. If you watch that, it will tell you a little bit about this process of addiction, which of course it relates to how you have a hard time to move on from your breakup, but it uses the same principles of addiction, and it could help you to understand what addiction is this and why you need to separate yourself from it. What is the mechanism of it? But in the meantime, now that you've realized that this addiction is a problem in your life, and probably is one of the reasons that's not letting you to be happy, because I don't think the reason that you miss your husband after this bad breakup that you said, the lawyers and all that, is really just the fact that you miss him. Maybe you do, I'm not sure, I don't know. It's just too quick for me to know. I don't have enough information. But maybe it is you're trying to seek a refuge from the fact that you can't handle your addiction to alcohol. And that addiction to alcohol has made you imprisoned, a prisoner, and you're not free. And you think by getting to your family, children and the husband, then you will feel psychologically secure, and you're no longer faced with a demon, faced with this bad thing that is engulfed you and it's controlling you and is commanding you. So you want to be yourself, and you need support, and you find that situation as where you can be feeling more secure to not to be influenced by the alcohol so much, or at least you feel happy even though if you're still addicted. So I think one of the reasons that you're not so happy and not able to move on, now that you've done the deed and you got the divorce, then you got to be able to move on and be happy. And one of the reasons of it is this addiction. First, you got to cut this son of a bitch out of your life. And I mean the alcohol. Once you cut that out, then you'll be able to see there's a possibility of life, freedom, independence, ability to move on. Like you've taken the chain out of the legs of the elephant. You are that elephant. You are capable. Obviously, you can do lots of things. You're handling your life and so on. But there is a chain. Cut that chain first, and then see if you still want to be with whatever it was that you want to be. And if you did, and you guys put it together, obviously you'll have a better chance, because then, you know, your ex will also see that you're not alcoholic, because that's no good. Even if you guys were married, you would get divorced because of being alcoholic. I mean, that would have a toll on the relationship for sure. So get that handled, and then see how you feel and how you react to life. And then if you still want to get back together, then you will be in a better position to offer a sane, relaxed, balanced woman to enhance your family's life. And it goes the other way around too, of course. So I hope that was something for you to think about. Now, let's see where we are. Ali says, hi, hello Ali. What can I do if my girlfriend's mother has problem with my way of thinking in life? My girlfriend depends a lot on his mother. Oh God. Well, tell her go have her mother as her future husband. I mean, I understand the respect that people have for their mother and father, but for God's sake, if you're mature enough, you're not a teenager anymore, you're in your 20s, like, you know, 22 or 3 or 4 and over, well, then understand that you're not going to be living with your mother or your father. You got to come to your own senses and understand what it is that you want and you like or you dislike. If you don't like the way that your boyfriend or your husband is because that's you thinking and your opinion, well, great. You act on it and compromise or figure out or leave or do whatever you want to do. But if it is because your mom says it or your dad says it, and it's not necessarily an issue, like, for example, if the guy is an addict in drugs and your mom says, well, stop seeing this guy, well, she's right. It doesn't matter if mom says or dad says or your friend says or Joe Blow says. That's just common sense. If it's something really bad about someone, you don't need your mom or dad. You can see it yourself. But if you can't see it, and it's nothing weird about this guy, you know, then don't just listen to mom and dad because that's mom and dad. You're conditioned to think anything that your mom or dad says is correct. Maybe so, but at a certain age, you have your own brain and you have your own experiences and expectations. Then you got to count on that too, not just what they say. Well, you hear it, you consider it, and you see if it makes sense, well, you accept it. But if it doesn't, then you don't accept it. Now, in your case, I don't think you need to really pay attention to what her mom says, as long as you are a good man, decent man, and you don't have weird habits, and you're not obnoxious, and you're not crazy, and you're not doing weird things, and you're not abusing your girlfriend in any way, shape, or form, then who cares what the mother thinks? And if she can't handle it, if she wants to be mommy's girl all the time, well, that's how she's going to be if you guys even get married. So you need to make a decision. Say, listen, I'm not weird. I'm not doing something crazy. That you're not in drugs or you're not in alcohol. You're not doing weird things. You're not in gambling. You're a decent guy, goes to work, comes back, and this is how you are. and say, I don't think there's anything wrong with me. So therefore, if you don't like it, well, okay, we can go our separate ways. But if you want me to turn myself into a putty that is being shaped according to your mom's desires, well, I'm sorry, that will never happen with anybody, because they may pretend that they will comply, but eventually everybody comes back to their own nature. And when the time passes and when you guys have got married or not, when the two people get married, then they become their own self without any pretense anymore. And that's when the problem starts. So you better know the true nature of someone in the time of courtship, in the time of relationship, rather than having someone who complies with everything that your family says, and then later on, just becomes himself, and you wonder, oh, what? Well, try to see your girlfriend. Got to see if she likes you, or she likes how you follow your mom's wishes. It's two different things. And now we go to Nikki says, that's why I'm concerned with our boys growing up with their values by them watching us being apart. Well, as I mentioned, Nikki, get rid of the alcohol thing first, and then you'll be your own person thoroughly, and you'll be fine in your judgments, much better than you can be now. Because alcohol is no place to seek refuge in. It's like saying, I'm going to go into this cave to be protected, but in the cave itself has got snakes and bats and animals that infect you and so on and so forth, or dangers in there. So that cave at the surface looks like somewhere that you can be protected from the elements outside. But inside the cave itself is one bloody place of challenge. Alcohol may make you not feel the pain that you go through or the challenges that you face in daily life. That's where you go to seek refuge. But that itself has its own venom that is keeping you under the control. So get that shit out first. Come out of the cave. Go into the nature. Open your heart and open your mind and become healthy. Exercise and get yourself in shape and free, and then decide what kind of a role model and what kind of role you can have in your children's life, and so on and so forth, and possibilities to get back with each other or not. Just reverse the situation. If he was alcoholic, would you take him back, even if you would have missed him after a while? You would always have that question, oh, gee, is he himself or not? So think about that for a second.